Nathan Oakley only uses plane surveying. Geodetic surveying must be used for any large-scale construction projects that are 12 miles or more. Nathan Oakley and many flat Earth creators rely almost exclusively on plane surveying. They treat the Earth as a flat horizontal surface and then claim that every measurement supports their model. Real civil engineering does not work that way. Plane surveying assumes the Earth is a perfectly flat two-dimensional plane. Horizontal lines are treated as straight Euclidean lines. Plumb lines are treated as parallel. Angles in a triangle add up to exactly 180 degrees. This model works fine for small sites, parking lots, house foundations, short roads, anything under roughly 12 miles. Beyond that distance, the curvature of the Earth becomes large enough that it can no longer be ignored without causing serious errors. Geodetic surveying accounts for the actual shape of the Earth, an oblate spheroid. Local plumb lines are not parallel. They converge toward the center of the Earth. Horizontal angles follow ellipsoidal geometry. Vertical distances are measured relative to curved equipotential surfaces, not a flat plane. When project distances grow past about 12 miles, geodetic methods become mandatory. The mathematical reason is straightforward. The vertical drop due to curvature over a distance d is approximately h equals d squared over 2r, where r is the Earth's mean radius, about 20,902,231 feet. With standard atmospheric refraction, the effective drop is slightly less, but the curvature is still very real. Now look at a real-world example that destroys the plane surveying claim, the Bob Graham Sunshine Skyway Bridge across Lower Tampa Bay. The central cable-stayed structure is 4.14 miles long. It was designed by Fig and Muller Engineering Group and opened in 1987. Two 431-foot pylons support a 1,200-foot main navigation span. The entire highway corridor connecting Pinellas County to Manatee County is longer still. Across just the 4.14-mile bridge, the unrefracted vertical curvature drop is 11.43 feet. With standard refraction, it is still almost 10 feet. A flat horizontal sightline projected from one abutment would pass nearly 10 feet above the actual curved deck at the other end. Even over the short 1,200-foot main span, the two 431-foot towers lean away from each other by about 3/10 of an inch at the top, because their local gravity vectors are not parallel. If the designers had forced the towers to be perfectly parallel under plane surveying assumptions, the cable stays, tension vectors, and tower foundations would all have been wrong. The superstructure was built with precast concrete segmental box girders using the match-cast balanced cantilever method. Each segment is cast directly against the previous one, so the joints fit with almost zero tolerance. The entire geometry is locked in at the casting yard. Engineers must therefore create a precise casting curve that already includes earth curvature, dead load deflection, post-tensioning camber, creep, and shrinkage. If that curve assumes a flat earth, the cantilevers will not meet at mid-span. The shear keys will bind, the epoxy joints will fail, and the bridge cannot be closed without massive reconstruction. Florida law requires this level of accuracy. Chapter 472 of the Florida Statutes and Rule Chapter 5J-17 of the Florida Administrative Code mandate that major infrastructure control networks be established by licensed professional surveyors and mappers using geodetic datums, NAD 83 horizontally and NAVD 88 vertically. Plane surveying is simply not permitted for projects of this scale, so when Nathan Oakley or any flat earth advocate waves a plane surveying measurement and claims it proves a flat earth, they are using a method that engineers themselves discard the moment a project gets longer than about 12 miles. The Sunshine Skyway Bridge exists because its designers refused to pretend the earth is flat. The numbers, the statutes, and the finished structure all say the same thing. Beyond short distances, geodetic surveying is not optional, it is required. That is the difference between an internet claim and real engineering.
Okay, with that being said, people, that is a narrative by my AI, and I'll go ahead. Now, I just did, I was part of the ongoing Fight the Flat Earth, a live stream. And you guys got to check that one out. Maybe I'll put the link below here. But if you want to see an absolute flurf get unhinged and go basically satanic, absolute crazy on Fight the Flat Earth's a live stream, I just uploaded that video about an hour or so ago. But I really wanted to do this video as well because Nathan Oakley, we don't measure the earth just flat using your idiotic well, there's nothing idiotic about it. There is something called plane surveying. That's what you use, buddy. And you claim there's no other way to measure the earth. Okay, but there are. Okay, geodetic surveying doesn't, use a linear line. And even on Discord about 12, 13 days ago, when you were, recommended a Discord server and you were fighting with McToon, I think it is, and also Craig at Fight the Flat Earth, you even rambled on over and over. Boom, boom, yeah. And we measured the earth flat. And at one point in time, you even actually acknowledged. They asked you, Nathan, well, that imaginary linear line, where does it go? Does it go off infinite? Well, no, eventually the linear line drops off. What does it drop off to, Nathan? Could it be the curvature? You admit it on the Discord, your way of measuring. You said drop. What is the drop? It's curve. Okay. And not only that, remember this. Okay. Plane surveying. And also David Weiss says this. It's pretty accurate 1,000 miles out. Now, Nathan Oakley, you can build a house. You can build, something relatively small, even a big warehouse like that sits on a concrete foundation of 200 feet by 200 feet. Yeah, you can use plane surveying because at that distance, the curvature is so minimal. Your problem is that you can't measure, long distances, and you can't count on the 8 inches per mile squared. So you have to use geodetic surveying, which is H equals D squared over R2, which measures the distance between 2 points in a circle, And we all know circles are measured in degrees. So, for example, the Sunshine Skyway Bridge, the whole bridge from the southern tip of Pinellas to the northern tip of Manatee spans actually 14 miles. It's the cable stay portion that is only 4.14 miles. But a construction project like that, since it's 14 miles, in Florida, you will never get a permit to build unless you're a professional licensed surveyor that measures using geodetic surveying methods. So there is another way to measure the earth. It's called H equals D squared over R2. Let me repeat it again. H equals D squared over R2 or 2R. So go ahead, Nathan. I challenge you and you gave me some BS excuse. I said, here's your problem. Calculate the vertical curvage over distance. And let's just hypothetically say that distance is 15 miles. You couldn't do it. You could not. But if you would have at least taken a guess saying, well, we measure the earth flat, so over 15 miles, it's going to be a 150-foot drop, you would have been right. Because whether you use plane surveying or geodetic surveying, H equals D squared over 2R, guess what? When you resolve the problem, you get 150 feet. How is that? Could it be that the earth is a globe? Which is why both equations, and that's not even the only other equation. There are many more that I'm still exploring. But geodetic surveying is very specific. There's other ways to measure the earth. Craig at Fight the Flat Earth has measured the earth. So you're just lying. I want to expose you. I want to expose all of you. Flat Earth Dave. you're a grifter. Obviously, it's okay. But you are a grifter. You're lying to people. You know the truth, Dave. But your grift is to sell your flat Earth clock app on Google, which is mind-baffling since it's not a secure app. Okay, being part of the YouTube partnership program, I am going to contact someone at Google directly and have them investigate and have your app pulled off the Google Play Store, because it's not worth people's data getting breached. Okay, we know where you live, Dave. We know where all your users live. We can tell any of your users their exact address because your flat Earth clock app is insecure. It's collecting people's data, and you have it on Google. We do not collect data. You are full of it. That's all I gotta say. With that being said, I just wanted to make this very clear. And for any of you flat earthers, please, okay, when you say we don't, take into account the curvature of the earth, we don't build anything, taking into account the curvature for the earth, I have a challenge for you. Okay, either Google or ask any AI. I don't care if it's Meta AI, DeepSeek, Gemini, Grok. Ask any of them. Okay, ask any of them this specific question. Did the designers and the architects of the new Sunshine Skyway Bridge take into account the curvature of the earth? When you get the response, you'll know the truth.